One of the most common things that I hear from business owners is that they're too busy fighting fires to be able to work on their business and make some improvements. So the issue here is that before you can actually start to work on how you're going to improve your business, you need to do some testing and measuring on what are the things that are actually causing you. What's the root cause for the things that's causing you to be fighting fires each and every day? And I guess it's the principle of, if you're not measuring it, you can't manage it. So before you can start to manage and overcome the fighting of the fires, you need to know what that root cause is. We'll talk about how systems can help you overcome and get back into control, remove the chaos and get back into control. And then we'll also talk about culture, because it may be the culture of your business or lack of that's actually part of that root cause. So when you work on these problems and you try and make improvements, the benefits that are going to come for you as the business owner is that once you do start the testing and measuring, you'll be able to manage it. And so when you start the management, you can start identify what the root cause is and start to implement some systems, procedures that are going to prevent the problems from occurring in the first place. When that happens, you're going to free up your time. So you're not fighting the fires every day. What are you going to do with your time? Interesting. Start working on the business. I guess to help reiterate this a little bit, let me give you a story of a time when I was working with my client and they were getting a lot of rework happening and a lot of warranty claims. And so my client approached me, Phil, how can we actually test and measure this? So we put a system in place where the business owners started to record every time there was some rework, every time there was a warranty claim, and we set it up in a simple little spreadsheet that identified each team member, and then he calculated what was the actual cost of having to go back and do the work again. Very simple, and it was interesting. Over a period of about 6 months, he got a great understanding of how much rework and warranty jobs were actually costing the business. And it also helped identify that there was one particular person whose name kept coming up each time. Yes, there were some of the other team members, occasionally that it would happen, but it was consistently one person. So by doing the testing and measuring, they were able to identify where the root cause was, and it came back to one person. And so in another video on another day, I'll go into that story in deeper detail on how they actually fixed it. So what they also identified was that not only was there the cost of having to go back and redo the job, it was actually a threefold cost. So there was the cost the first time to do the job, the cost the second time was to go back and redo it, but then the third cost, which is probably the biggest cost, was the lost opportunity cost. And the lost opportunity cost is, by having to go back and redo it, it prevented them from starting some new work on a new job, new revenue as well. So the things that I want to teach you about here today is that testing and measuring. Unless you're testing and measuring it, you can't manage it. So if you're identifying that you're fighting fires, and it may be in one particular area, it may be in a number of different areas, is work out how are you actually going to test and measure what is actually happening so that you can identify the root cause. And depending on the situation, depending on the circumstances, you may have to utilize in different ways. The first thing is work out, how am I going to measure what is actually happening? The second thing is, once you've identified what the problem is and what the issue is, it's implementing a system. And one of the most common systems, coming back using that rework and warranty jobs, was a lack of SOPs, standard operating procedures. So the SOPs are those documents that describe how to get a job or a task done, and it needs to be then followed by everybody in the team. It's consistency. If we do the same thing over and over again, then this is the way that we do it. What then needs to happen is that once you've created the document, is you need to train your team. You need to train the team in this particular SOP. This is how it is. This is how it works. This is what our expectations are, is that you follow this SOP every single time. Now, by doing all of that, that then starts to eliminate the amount of rework that's happening, the amount of warranty jobs that might be happening in the business, the reasons, it eliminates the reasons that you're having to spend so much time fighting fires. When you do this, it's going to improve productivity and efficiency, which equals more profit. It's going to, I guess, improve the team culture. People will, if you've got a great culture in the business, the team will want to stay. When you've got a poor culture, that's when you'll find that you've got lots of turnover within the business. And more importantly, the final benefit is that it's going to free up your time so that you can start working more on the business, looking for those opportunities for continuous improvement. It's going to make the business run smoother, more efficiently, more productively. So I hope that I've helped clarify a number of issues here with you today. And if you would like to know more about how you can implement some of these things in your business, please book a call with me, and we can then have a discussion and see what's next. Bye.